Christmas, everybody! Merry Christmas!
AKAPADers, welcome back to the weekend. You know what we do here on the Film Buff Podcast. We do cartoons, we do animation. And in today's case, existential meltdown. I know all of you deeply enjoy when this happens to your bro, Peter A. DeLuca here, coming to you, by the way, from Philadelphia, PA. I went through the analytics again, which I think this calendar year I'm doing it a little bit more frequently. AKA Patters, we got you in the UK. We got you around the globe. We got Australian listeners. We got a lot of activity in Canada. This is fantastic. This is why I love doing what I'm doing. It's not to just educate. It's to remind you guys where things were at one point. The height of some of these properties. And why, I mean, everyone's talking about this Netflix, Warner Brothers, Paramount, proxy acquisition battle that's happening. On our end, in our world, we think of these battles as a fight over intellectual properties. So the layman likes to call them IPs. I like to call them cool things. So one time when Warner Brothers started to merge and the beginning of this growing beast of the Warner Brothers Entertainment, we'll call it. The library, everything they had in production, all of their film connections, massive IP inventory. At one point, it was AOL Time Warner, and properties like the Flintstones, when they floated around these acquisitions, it was almost like, hey, and this is where people started to begin developing the idea that some of these properties, some of these cool things, well, they were worth a hell of a lot of money when it comes to an acquisition in comparison or in play in the marketplace. Like, how much is this idea worth in the marketplace? So it was really AOL Time Warner that we really started to understand that things like DC Comics, Batman, Superman, Justice League, the Looney Tune cartoons, and so on and so forth. And along the timeline of Warner Brothers, they acquired Hanna-Barbera. This is, and I'm paraphrasing here, like we're just going off the tip of Peter's brain. So the acquisition of Hanna-Barbera brought in Scooby-Doo and all of these other franchises, Flintstones being one of them. And why is any of this important? Because, well, it's cinemas, aka Patters. We're talking Christmas movies. I have a long list, and I'm making my way through my Christmas movie list to bring you guys everything. This movie, it's made for cable, DVD release, VHS release, and back in the day, like we're going to land all these planes. AK Patters. But back in the day, families would have Christmas sections. So you would have holiday at-home entertainment sections, and some houses would have everything, and some houses would have a handful. But even things like Barney's Christmas, some of the Disney ones, Mickey's Christmas Carol, we did that, I believe, 2 years ago. It might have been 2024, actually. There was a growing catalog. So you would go down to Clover, Bradley's, Kmart, Sears, and during the holidays they would have all these out. Charlie Brown Christmas. So throughout the years, as you raised the family, as you had children, and this is one of the reasons why when people argue about this affordability stuff, that's always the topic of conversation, by the way, guys. When families aren't able to do these things, this is where people hit the alarms. But as a mother, as a father, throughout the years, you would buy one or two of these. Some families bought one of each. So by the time you were like a teenager and moving through high school, going off to college, if that's what you did, you would have all of these movies. You would have the Grinch cartoon as a clamshell VHS. And then as you had children, you were passing it on. So this was like 90s, like late 80s, 90s, 2000s. So you kind of had a generation of American families raised on what this movie is. So the Flintstones, we got to go back to the Flintstones, 1960. So I'm watching this, and I say to myself, there's like a gray colored Flintstones retrospective hardcover. I remember seeing it. Like every comic shop in Jersey had this at one point or another. But it was like a gray cover, like a stone drawn cover with an F on it. So I'm watching this, and I break one of my cardinal sins. I go to the computer as I'm watching something. It's hard not to do that sometimes when you're AKAPAD, because you guys know how busy I am. And I go to Amazon. I select books from the drop down, right? We know to do that. And I type in the Flintstones. Actually, it was Flintstones. And I get like a modern DC comic book Flintstone interpretation. It looks like it has banger artwork. I'm like, I'm going to have to see that eventually. And I start scrolling, and I see like a couple children's books. And maybe like a little book collection. But they're all children. So none of it is what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for like a Flintstones retrospective hardcover. Probably published around the time of this. It's in the 90s. It might came out during the time of the Flintstones movie. And quickly, you hit a block. You can do this yourselves, AKAPADers. Please report back. There's a block of Flintstones vitamins. And then, which you almost want to say, I accept that. Because the vitamins and Fruity Pebbles are the two remaining vestiges. That might not even be a word. What word am I trying to say? There might be the two remaining items of the entire Flintstones franchise. Which cycles a little bit to the point of the Flintstones embedded in American culture. Ran for 5 years on network ABC, or network television. Here's where Flintstones is today. Amazon, the world's biggest, largest, greatest retailer, right? They give me a couple of Flintstones books. They show me the vitamins. There's a die-cast toy in there. Maybe a few other, like there might be socks. No second page, AKAPADers. And there you go. So I go to eBay and I do Flintstones, books. And I get a lot of these children's books and all these things, right? Like the stuff you would expect. So I have to infinitely now scroll through eBay to find this hardcover that someone one day published. Because I realized as I was watching this that, see, the Flintstones were important enough not just to get a Christmas Carol, but to also get a Christmas special. See, the Flintstones were a part of American life for a good stretch. The character of Fred Flintstone is what Homer Simpson's built on. Peter from Family Guy, Archie Bunker. He's even Hellboy, Mike Mignola, however the hell you want to say, based on this guy, Alf, based on Fred Flintstone. He's a blue collar fuck up. He can't do anything right. He's part retarded. In today's terms, if this came out, people would flip out. People would accuse whoever made it as being woke because Fred can't stand on his own 2 feet. He can't do anything right, and he needs Wilma. What a silly thing, right? I mean, we get that with Poe Dameron when it comes to Star Wars, The Last Jedi. No. The bumbling buffoon character might exclusively be it might be exclusive by men. But there's reasons for that, right? Like Fred Flintstone might be a total screw up, but like we know Fred Flintstone's a guy, right? He works in construction. He's a rough guy. He's a whiskey, beer drinking, he will fight you type of guy. He's managing a household. The dude's going to just be drunk sometimes and forget things. So it's like you almost like don't look down on Fred. You just say, why can't Fred just be a little bit better? So this whole let's get into, right, like we kind of went into the rise and fall of Flintstones. We went into why at one point you would have like a Warner Brothers store in your local mall and you would get Flintstone sells tons of merchandise. And Flintstones was a little bit of a linchpin of the Warner Brothers. Like there was a feather in the cap. But the Flintstones overall have not survived the ages. There's no new interpretations. There's no new spins. There's nothing new done with these characters. They are Fruity Pebbles and Flintstone vitamins. Fruity Pebbles, my AKAPADers, is my number one cereal. I love that shit. I love Cocoa Pebbles. Cap'n Crunch, you guys know, is my strong number 2. So we get this rise and fall of the Flintstones. We're in the modern age. We can't even get something significant in Flintstones book-wise on Amazon. So there's no postmodern commentary on the Flintstones at all. This podcast, this episode right here is that. And the entire story of this is fantastic. Fred forgets to pick up Pebbles. He number one, he's Scrooge in the local play. The local Christmas play. That's all he's so obsessed with it. He forgets to buy gifts for Christmas. He's got to go to Nordstrom. I think it's Nordshell. I love it too. Even in '94, right? Like we're like Nordstrom right there. Barney needs to pick up Pebbles because he forgets to pick up Pebbles from daycare, which is a point that we see the two of them drive by each other on the street. It's revealed later what Barney's doing in that scene. Nice touch. Once we start the play that has destroyed Christmas for Fred Flintstone, Wilma's pissed. The kid's not picked up from daycare. He's trying to wrap some gifts. Once the play starts in Bedrock, once the play kicks in, we go into the Christmas Carol narrative. It's almost like it's a very intelligent shift. So then we're watching a prehistoric Flintstone universe version of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, and we get all of the highlights. We get Fred as Scrooge being a son of a bitch, making kids shovel snow on Christmas, flipping out. Everyone needs to work the next day. All of these tropes. He's not donating money, and then he starts getting hit by the ghost and seeing everything. By the end of this, we're so happy because we've seen Fred go through so much that there's a little bit of joy in the anxiety you get when you watch Fred Flintstone not be a good guy, just screw up, but he's trying. It's almost like there's a little bit of a plight in Fred Flintstone where no matter what he tries, he's going to bumble and fail it. I thought this was fantastic, AKAPADers. I caught it on Amazon. It might be on Peacock only, not on Peacock. I think it's on Amazon Prime, and they also have the Christmas special. It's an hour and 9 minutes. Now, why is it hour and 9? Well, the rest of that when it was broadcast, the rest of that gap would be commercial. So it's relatively a 90-minute broadcast. This is one of the things, though. Let me, and I think that this is a real point. I would love to. It costs me. Things are digital. data is being more and more compressed, more optimized, right? I would love it if I could watch a version of this with commercials from the day, like as it appeared in some markets, and I could go through the market. I really wish that would be a thing, and I think that's a topic for a different episode, because I got ideas around that. You know what happens when you get ideas. Alright, Merry Christmas. Flintstones Christmas Carol, I thought it was fantastic. A hell of a reminder to where Hanna-Barbera and all the properties of Hanna-Barbera were at one point. They ruled the airwaves. They really did. And everything that Disney copied later, Hanna-Barbera did first when it comes to TV. Think about that.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production.
Let
take
me
2.
cut in. Sorry, AKAPADers. I know it's such a hot, passionate episode, but I'm breaking the flow real quick just to remind you guys. If you want to support me, one of the best, easiest, and free ways to do it, leave a comment. Give me a like. I know there's someone out there that you know that loves film as much as I do, that love the film industry as much as I. Show this to them. Comments, likes, and reviews, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. We need to increase our reach, and to do that requires you. Your involvement in everything that I do. We're linked. We're forever bound. You're the membrane, I'm the muscle. So guys, let's just do it. One review. Do you have it in you? Okay, back to the show.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Let's take this time real quick, AKAPADers, my fellow film buffers, and let's just go over the schedule. This is years in the making. This type of rollout I've been planning for years, but we're finally here. So here we go. Early in the morning, that's the new stuff. 8 a.m. Now, 8 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, these are movies maybe of something coming out, like if there's a Marvel movie coming out and we want to do a retrospective on that particular franchise, or if Sylvester Stallone comes back and gives us Rocky Part 18, we might want to use the later time slots for a week or two to go over all of the Rocky movies. Now, we have a lot of different threads on this podcast that's explored 8 p.m. So 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. This is our creator spotlight. We could do an episode on Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, some of the new guys, Spike Lee, even composers, guys like John Williams. This brings us into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday morning. Again, we're back at that 8 a.m. drop. We do cartoons because I want to emulate the times where you would wake up with a bowl of cereal and watch cartoons all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and then eventually you would get to touch grass because you would have one of your friends knocking on your door to play in a touch football game or even some baseball, basketball. The weekend nights, let's get into education. 8 p.m. Again, all of our drops are either 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. But the weekend nights, documentaries, and I focus on creative documentaries because I feel like a part of this film buff movement that we're all bathing in, that I'm super grateful for, is education. And some of where we're finding our facts, some of the general enjoyment, because I love documentaries, all of this is explored at 8 o'clock p.m. And trust me, there's a lot there. There's a lot out there that I didn't even know existed. And we're going to go beyond that too. We're going to get into some of the graphic art, some of the special effects, some of the makeup documentaries. There's a lot to learn, and I'm so happy to bring you the 9 p.m. because, guys, you guys know I'm an autodidact. I am self-educated. Sure, I have some certifications. Sure, I spent time at the Art Institute of Philadelphia for animation. But in large, I'm a self-educated, self-made person that's connected to the weekend 8 p.m. drops. My AKAPADers, my film buffers, I hope to see you there for all of it. I love you guys, and rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap. Okay, that's a wrap.